From timeless classics to modern blockbusters, these 20 authors have shaped the world of literature. Let's explore their stories, bestsellers, and the impact they've had on readers across the globe. William Shakespeare remains one of history's most enduring authors, with dozens of his plays and hundreds of editions consistently performing like bestsellers for over 4 centuries. Works such as Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, and Macbeth have repeatedly reappeared in print, performance, and adaptations, enjoying continuous presence far beyond the typical bestseller timeline of weeks or months. Shakespeare's cumulative sales are estimated in the billions when considering print, digital, and audiobook formats combined, driven by his dominance in dramatic literature across tragedy, comedy, history, and poetry. His influence reaches a universal market, as his works are translated into virtually every major language and form part of core school reading worldwide, appealing to all ages. While he received no formal awards in his lifetime, modern critical acclaim, institutional honors, and global scholarship affirm his legacy. Shakespeare's longevity is unmatched, with centuries of uninterrupted relevance in curricula and theater. His cultural impact is monumental, inspiring countless films, operas, and modern reinterpretations, and shaping the English language itself. Reader reception remains consistently high, from scholars to general audiences. Publishing houses ensure wide distribution through annotated and collected editions, though much of his reach is embedded in education and cultural tradition. His global presence is unparalleled, and with dozens of plays, 154 sonnets, and numerous poems, his productivity laid the foundation for centuries of literary dominance. Agatha Christie carved her name as the Queen of Mystery, producing dozens of crime and detective novels that consistently topped bestseller lists worldwide. Titles such as Murder on the Orient Express and Then There Were None have repeatedly returned to bestseller charts over decades. Christie's cumulative sales reach into the billions, spanning print, digital, and audiobook formats. She specialized in detective fiction, yet achieved global reach with translations in over 100 languages, appealing mainly to adult readers. Honors include the title of Dame and recognition from popular reader awards. Christie's consistency is remarkable, producing steady hits from the 1920s through the 1970s. Cultural impact includes countless film, TV, and stage adaptations, influencing the structure of the modern whodunit. Readers continue to give her strong ratings, with her characters Poirot and Marple enjoying a loyal following. Publisher partnerships, mass-market distribution, and the enduring franchise of her characters contributed to her global success. Christie's international influence remains strong, and her prolific output ensured lasting engagement. Barbara Cartland dominated the romance genre with extraordinary productivity, writing hundreds of novels, many of which became mass-market bestsellers, especially in the mid-20th century. Her books often enjoyed strong initial sales and repeated reprints rather than long single-list runs. Total sales estimates range from 600 million to nearly a billion, largely driven by print editions, with later digital and audiobook adaptations contributing modestly. Cartland specialized in historical romance aimed at adult female readers, with reach across the UK, Commonwealth, and select international markets. Awards were limited, but her cultural recognition is significant as one of the most prolific authors of her era. She maintained remarkable consistency with multiple annual releases over decades. Cultural impact is evident in shaping modern romance storytelling. Readers remain loyal, appreciating her comforting style. Publisher-driven marketing and mass-market strategies fueled her widespread influence. Geographically, her popularity was strongest in the UK, while translations extended her reach. Cartland's productivity was immense, sustaining a long-lasting literary presence. Danielle Steele has produced dozens of novels that debuted on bestseller lists, often remaining there for extended periods. Her cumulative sales exceed 800 million copies across print, digital, and audiobook formats, making her one of the best-selling living authors. Steele writes primarily romance and family drama, appealing largely to adult women, but her books have global appeal through translations in more than 40 languages. Awards include Guinness World Records for consistent bestseller appearances. Steele's consistency spans more than 4 decades, producing multiple books each year. Many novels have been adapted into films and television movies, increasing her cultural footprint. Reader reception is strong, with a loyal fan base that appreciates her emotional narratives. Her success combines prolific output with publisher support and marketing strategies. Danielle Steele's works perform well in both established and emerging markets, and her steady productivity ensures ongoing relevance. Harold Robbins became a household name with racy, fast-paced novels that frequently appeared on bestseller lists. He sold approximately 750 million copies worldwide, spanning print, paperback, and digital formats. Robbins specialized in contemporary thrillers and adventure stories for adult readers. While he did not win major literary awards, his commercial success and popularity were enormous, with several works adapted for film and television. Robbins maintained steady output across decades, peaking in the 1960s and 70s. Cultural impact is centered on his influence on mid-20th century popular fiction. Readers respond with nostalgia and appreciation for his accessible storytelling. His success relied heavily on publisher promotion and mass-market strategies. Geographically, Robbins' works were strongest in North America and Europe, with translations extending reach. He authored more than 20 novels, many of which remain in print and continue to sell. Enid Blyton captured generations of children's imaginations with series like The Famous Five, The Secret Seven, and Naughty. Many of her titles have remained long-term bestsellers through continuous reprints and adaptations. Blyton's cumulative sales exceed 600 million, with print, audiobook, and digital formats all contributing. She specialized in children's adventure and fantasy, reaching a global audience of young readers, though also appealing to young adults. Awards during her lifetime were limited, but her enduring influence is evident. She maintained consistent productivity across decades, producing multiple titles annually. Cultural impact includes TV adaptations, merchandise, and shaping children's literature. Reader reception remains positive, especially in Europe, Asia, and the UK. Publisher promotion ensured wide distribution and school adoption. Her prolific output solidified her global popularity. Dr. Seuss, Theodore Geisel, revolutionized early childhood literature with enduring titles such as The Cat in the Hat and Green Eggs and Ham, many of which stayed on bestseller lists for years. Total sales surpassed 650 million copies across print, digital, and audiobook platforms. Seuss specialized in children's picture books, appealing to a universal audience of young readers and parents. Awards include multiple Caldecott honors and a Pulitzer Prize for his contribution to literature. His career maintained steady productivity over several decades. Cultural impact is immense, with animated adaptations, merchandising, and continued classroom use. Reader reception remains high, with generational appeal. Publisher support and educational use ensured broad dissemination. Seuss works have global reach and remain foundational in children's literature. J.K. Rowling transformed young adult fantasy with the Harry Potter series, with each installment becoming a global bestseller and often dominating charts for months. Total sales exceed 500 to 600 million copies across print, digital, and audiobook formats. Rowling primarily writes fantasy, but also crime fiction under a pseudonym. Her books have been translated into dozens of languages, appealing to children, teens, and adults alike. Awards include British Book Awards and Hugo Awards, among others. Rowling's consistency is notable, producing one monumental series followed by additional works in adult fiction. Cultural impact is immense. Films, games, theme parks, and merchandise have turned her stories into a global phenomenon. Readers continue to rate the series highly, with a dedicated fan base. Publishing and marketing power, coupled with franchise popularity, drive continued sales. Her influence is global, and although her total book output is moderate, each release commands immense attention. Georges Simenon, creator of Inspector Maigret, authored hundreds of crime novels, many of which became European bestsellers. He sold an estimated 500 to 700 million copies worldwide in print and digital editions. Simenon specialized in detective fiction, but also explored psychological novels. His works are widely translated and targeted at adult readers. Awards include the Grand Prix de Littérature Policière. Simenon's career spanned decades with consistent output. Cultural impact includes film and television adaptations and shaping European noir fiction. Readers value his concise style and plotting. Publisher support ensured international reach, particularly in Europe. Productivity remained high throughout his long career. James Patterson is among the most prolific contemporary authors, with hundreds of titles topping bestseller lists, often for weeks or months. He has sold 300 to 425 million copies globally across print, digital, and audio. Patterson dominates thrillers, mystery, and young adult genres, with translations in over 40 languages. Awards include the Edgar Award and multiple Reader's Choice honors. His consistency is unmatched, releasing multiple books per year for decades. Cultural impact includes popular series like Alex Cross and Maximum Ride and multiple media adaptations. Readers maintain strong loyalty, even if critical reception is mixed. Marketing and publisher partnerships, combined with brand recognition, drive sales globally. Patterson's work is strongest in North America, but widely read internationally. Stephen King has written dozens of novels and hundreds of short stories, many appearing on bestseller lists for extended periods. He has sold roughly 400 million copies worldwide, spanning print, digital, and audiobook formats. King primarily writes horror, suspense, and fantasy, appealing to adult and young adult readers. Awards include Bram Stoker Awards, Hugo Awards, and National Book Awards. His consistency is notable, with decades of continuous publication. Cultural impact is vast, with countless film and TV adaptations, shaping modern horror and thriller storytelling. Reader reception remains strong, with loyal fans across generations. Publisher backing and adaptations support marketing power. King's geographic influence is global, with strong readership in both established and emerging markets. Productivity is high, with annual releases and numerous short story collections. Eiichiro Oda, creator of the manga One Piece, has authored a series that has sold between 450 and 516 million copies worldwide. His manga volumes frequently top Japanese and international bestseller lists. Oda focuses on adventure and fantasy, targeting young adults and teen audiences. Awards include multiple Japanese manga accolades. His consistency is remarkable, producing serialized content weekly since 1997. Cultural impact includes anime adaptations, films, and merchandise. Reader reception is exceptional, with a global fanbase and dedicated communities. Marketing and franchise expansion through anime, video games, and merchandise amplify sales. One Piece is globally popular, particularly in Asia, Europe, and North America. Productivity is extreme, with ongoing weekly chapter releases. J.R.R. Tolkien wrote relatively few works, but with massive impact, including The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings trilogy, which have remained bestsellers for decades. Total sales surpassed 600 million across print, digital, and audiobook formats. Tolkien's focus was fantasy literature, appealing to adults and young adults worldwide, with translations in dozens of languages. Awards include international literary honors. His career spans several decades, and while output was limited, each book achieved monumental success. Cultural impact includes films, games, and a massive influence on modern fantasy. Readers remain passionate, with enduring fan communities. Publisher support, adaptations, and reprints maintain visibility. Tolkien's geographic influence is global, and his productivity, though limited, was transformative. Gilbert Patten authored over 100 novels and stories, many of which achieved bestseller status in the early 20th century, particularly in serialized and dime novel formats. He sold approximately 500 million copies globally, mostly in print. Patten specialized in adventure and juvenile fiction, targeting young readers. Awards were largely absent, though his popularity was immense. He maintained consistent productivity over decades. Cultural impact included adaptations into early film serials. Readers responded enthusiastically in his era, with dedicated young audiences. Publisher backing was crucial to mass distribution. His influence was strongest in North America. Productivity was high, with dozens of novels published annually. Nora Roberts has written hundreds of romance and suspense novels, with many topping bestseller lists over decades. She has sold roughly 400 million copies globally across print, digital, and audiobook formats. Roberts writes primarily romance, fantasy, and suspense, reaching adult and young adult readers. Awards include Rita Awards and multiple Reader's Choice recognitions. Her consistency is remarkable, publishing multiple titles per year. Cultural impact includes adaptations into television movies. Reader reception is strong, with a loyal fan base. Marketing and publisher partnerships have contributed to success. Her geographic influence is primarily North America, though translations expand global reach. Roberts is highly productive, maintaining a vast catalog. Sidney Sheldon authored dozens of novels, many of which became international bestsellers. Total sales are around 370 million copies across print, digital, and audiobooks. He wrote primarily thrillers and romance, appealing to adult readers worldwide, with translations into dozens of languages. Awards include the Academy Award for Screenwriting early in his career and recognition from international literary circles. He maintained consistent output over decades. Cultural impact includes film and television adaptations. Reader reception remains high among fans of suspense fiction. Publisher marketing supported global reach. Sheldon's geographic influence is international, and his productivity included steady yearly releases. Dean Koontz has written dozens of bestsellers, often remaining on charts for weeks or months. Sales total roughly 325 million copies worldwide across print, digital, and audiobook formats. He specializes in horror, suspense, and thriller genres, appealing to adult readers globally. Awards include Bram Stoker Awards and multiple reader-driven recognitions. His consistency spans decades, with multiple titles annually. Cultural impact includes adaptations into films and television series. Reader reception is strong, with a loyal fan base. Marketing and publisher support enhance reach. Geographic influence is global, with strong presence in North America, Europe, and Asia. Productivity is high, with frequent releases. Leo Tolstoy authored several novels and novellas, including War and Peace and Anna Karenina, which have repeatedly appeared on international bestseller lists over decades. Sales are estimated at 250 to 400 million copies worldwide, across print, digital, and audio formats. He focused on historical and philosophical fiction, appealing to adult readers, and his works have been widely translated. Awards were largely posthumous, including recognition from literary societies. His career spanned decades with consistent output. Cultural impact is profound, influencing literature, philosophy, and film adaptations. Reader reception remains strong, especially among classic literature enthusiasts. Publishing power and critical acclaim sustain his relevance globally. Productivity was moderate but impactful, with fewer but monumental works. Charles Dickens authored dozens of novels that became instant bestsellers in Victorian England and continue to be widely read. Total sales are estimated at 250 to 400 million copies globally across print, digital, and audio formats. He specialized in social commentary, fiction, and serialized novels, reaching adult and young adult audiences. Awards included recognition from literary societies and posthumous acclaim. Dickens maintained consistent output over decades, with multiple serializations per year. Cultural impact includes numerous film and television adaptations. Readers continue to respond positively, with dedicated literary fan bases. Publisher marketing, serialization, and international translations ensured global reach. Productivity was high, with dozens of novels and short story collections sustaining long-term influence. These authors remind us that great stories transcend time and borders. Which one inspires you the most? Dive into their works and experience the magic of literature for yourself.